Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Oti, and if you're new on this channel, please like this video, subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that whenever I post, you'll be the very first to find out. So you guys, today we are serving fresh face, okay? Oh my days. So this topic, I think I've talked about it once or twice on my channel. I remember back, I think either 2 years ago or last year, I can't remember, I talked about how a neighbor reported myself and my husband because my child was crying, and then we're just trying to sleep training. But you know what sleep training entails? I mean, moms, if you've ever tried to sleep train your child, like making sure your child sleep at a certain time in their own room, it can be a lot. It can be mentally draining for both you and the child. So it was a lot for me at that time, but who cares? I mean, your neighbor, as long as a child is crying, most times out of care, I will assume they ring protection services or police or whoever. But if it's a neighbor you have very good relationship with, it's not like we had bad relationship with the neighbor, but we were not close, just hi, like, and that's it. And which of course is very common in the UK. Even where I live now, we see ourselves once in a while, but it's just hi, hello, and that is it. Like, we don't really have that great rapport. But I mean, I have 3 kids now in my new house, and they cry from time to time, and no social services have ever come to knock on my door. So this topic is something that I think I should be talking about more on my channel, because every month, every year, every week, every day, people come into the UK, especially Africans, Nigerians. We all know this is the era of Japa. People migrate to the UK with their children. So it's best they know this, right? They have this information. Social services, they are not actually there to just take your child. They can't even come and just take your child, except there is a risk, like there's a risk factor in that house, then they will have to do it immediately. But if it's an allegation or whatever, then there are due proceedings. The court will definitely act in the best interest of a child. Now, a video trended a while ago where a woman stated that a 60-year-old son of a medical doctor was taken away from him. Let me just put a clip of the video somewhere here before I continue.
A Nigerian doctor's son taken into care in this court today. Do you know what happened? You remember 2 months ago they were preparing for their GCSE, and the 2 of his friends came to him. They were studying together, preparing for their GCSE exams. And the 2 children, they came for sleepover, and they were sleeping over and studying. But at 3 o'clock in the night, the father tiptoed into the boys' room and met them watching improper video. And immediately the man got angry. He went to pick up a belt and started beating this boy in the presence of his friends. And the 2 friends ran out of the house and called the police. That is how the police came that night and took the boy away. Now in the court today, the 2 friends, they heard the father telling him, "Is this how you want to become a doctor?" The boy was taken away since the last 3 weeks ago, but the court hearing is today. And now they have ruled that the child, the 16 years old, remain in custody. He can no longer go back to the father's house. 16 years old boy. Boy said the father is always beating him to study the subjects he doesn't want, because the father wants him to study medicine in university. He's forcing him to study the subjects that he doesn't like. That's what the boy said. Now the boy has been taken into custody completely. A doctor's son, a Nigerian doctor's son. Hey, my people, what is going on?
A 16-year-old son was taken away from the dad. 16-year-old is so grown. Jesus, like, I know at that age, they don't hear what, they don't listen. So apparently, the guy and his friends, they were preparing for their GCSE, and the friends came over. And then at about midnight or thereabouts, they were watching inappropriate video. And out of anger, he brought out bets and started beating the guy. Is this how you want to study your medicine? You know, there's this mentality we have back home that my child would be this. Like me now, I have 3 kids. I want to have a pilot. I want to have a footballer. I want to have a doctor. Like, it's normal. That is what I want for them. But at the end of the day, it is what they want. My duty as a mom right now is to nurture them in that angle. For instance, if you're on my WhatsApp, you agree with me that I do a lot of homeschooling. I try to homeschool my children. I post it from time to time. I'm trying to build them in that direction, guide them in that direction. So I have plans on putting my boys in a football academy if if at some point they start the football academy and they notice that it's not really what they want, and they come to them, mommy, I don't like football, I don't want to go, I notice they're not eager to go or they're not doing well, then I will definitely put them out. It is what I want for them, but what do they want for themselves? Just as they are little now, it's my duty to guide them the right way. And whatever it is they decide to become in the future, if they don't want to become this and what I really want them to become, and they want to become something else, my duty as a mom is to encourage them to be the best at that thing, to be the best in what they really want to do, not to impose it on them. Hey guys, so this video is sponsored by FITVILLE, and they sent me these shoes, 4 beautiful shoes, which of course I'm going to be trying out with you guys. Let me tell you guys a thing or two about FITVILLE. You know that pain that comes with wearing trainers, shoes, like that pain that you feel around your ankles, your foot? Trust me, FITVILLE is here to take it away. And there's some persons that have really wide toes, they can't get the regular shoes out there because they feel like their size is not out there. Trust me, FITVILLE is for you. FITVILLE is a cutting-edge company pursuing human foot health. Now they have different sizes, different types of shoes, which of course I'm sure you can see scrolling down here, and believe me, they are so affordable and soft. Okay, let me just open one so you can see. This is one of the shoes I got, and you can see how it is. Guys, just look at it, and it is so affordable. Shoes are equipped with wide-toed boxes and of course very comfortable pads to guarantee you your comfort. See me, I can't imagine wearing shoes and my legs are hurting. I won't want to repeat that shoes, and that is why you need to get these FITVILLE shoes. And they're so unique. Like, they're not the kind of shoes you see every day all around. Like, they're so unique.
Take a look into the mirror, following your heart, but you silence to the fear, and you deserve it. You deserve it. Rainy season's gonna go, now your seeds can grow. Imagine that. You deserve it. You deserve it now. Hey.
Pick up the phone, little darling, I got a bit to say. I'm speaking from the heart, I pray it doesn't ricochet. I know you got his up, distance makes this hard enough. I hope that I can ask for you to listen, man, this part is tough. I sent a message and maybe you didn't get it yet. When you have a second, you should check it, swear you won't regret it. I'm stepping out of a meeting, a big amount's where it's leading. I'll make you proud in proceedings, we'll hit the town in the evening, darling.
And I got this for my husband. Use my code MO30 for a 30% off. Coming from Nigeria, we all know back home, most of us, our parents wanted us to be doctors or nurses. I remember when I was in secondary school, so at SS1, I didn't know what I wanted to become. I was just confused. I wanted to become everything. I went to Federal Government Girls College, Benin, and in SS1, from most schools, SS1, you get to do all the courses, art, social sciences, you do the core subjects, so that in SS2 you can then decide where you want to go. But then that was what I was expecting, right? But getting to Federal Girls, I realized in SS1 you go straight to social sciences, arts, sciences, and I didn't know what I wanted to become. I was just there in the vice principal's office, I remember. And my mom was like, what do you really want to become? I was confused. And the man was like, which department are we seeking? I was like, I don't know. My mom was like, don't you want to become a doctor? Don't you want to do sciences? Don't you like nursing? I told my mommy, I don't know. The vice principal was like, okay, my mom and I should just go outside and discuss. When we went outside, my mom was encouraging me to do it. Go for sciences. Your cousin is this. Your cousin is that. During holiday, they can always teach you. And when you come home for holiday, I can always get you a private teacher. This my mom was, she was pushing it to my side. Even though me, I was just confused. I told my mom, I sure I don't want to become a lawyer, because growing up, I was a very good debater. Like, I used to debate a lot. I used to do debates. I used to do symposium. Like, I used to represent my school self in debate. Like, I was a debater of my school. I used to debate a lot. I think I want to be a lawyer. My mom, she just gone like, she was just pushing it small. So when we went back to the vice principal's office, I went to my junior work. I think my junior work, I had 7 A's and 5 B's, and most of my A's were really like, I think English, as in, I don't know, the A's were on point in nice subjects. So the vice principal agreed with my mom that, yeah, I think you should do sciences. And that was I entered sciences. So see me now, is the sciences, I don't even know what I am now. Now I'm even trying to go leave sciences and go into something else. So I'm just trying to say, in Nigeria, we can easily do that, but here in the UK, you can't do that to your child. No, you can't. Like, at the end of the day, especially when it's time for them to choose their subjects at college, it's still what they want to become, that they will still become. As in, you can't really impose it on them. The guy also complained, that to the court, that the dad keeps insisting that he studies medicine, even though he doesn't want to become a doctor, right? And that's like a very big point against the dad. Unfortunately, the child was taken away from him, 16. Just 2 years after, he's just going to be under their care, maybe in the care of a foster parent for 2 years, and then if he decides to go back to his parents, fine. But I think it's only from 18 years you can go back to your parents. It's really devastating. Unfortunately for this man, since he's a doctor, he will still have to face GMC. That's the problem, GMC. Hey, ask any doctor, GMC, General Medical Council, is just like NMC, Nigerian Medical Council in Nigeria. You have to be present both in your profession and character, in everything. So you will still have to face them, unfortunately. Now, how do we avoid things like this? How do we avoid social services taking our kids from us? Social services and even the courts, right? They know that the first place of care should be in the family home. They know that children are best catered for when they are with their family. You just want to be there for them. You want to protect them, give them the best of everything. So, and they know too. However, if there is a risk in that home, then definitely we will need to escalate things, start the legal proceeding. So there's no point being frightened if you get a call or if they visit you. There's no point. Just feel as long as you're doing the right thing. Now, parents do feel anxious when social services contact them, but trust me, I know how that feels because I felt really, really anxious when they contacted me. But trust me, you really, really don't have to, because they don't even have the right to come and just take the child, like put the child. Actually, if it's just an allegation with no evidence, nothing, just neighbors saying something, go through the child's body, no mark, nothing. The child doesn't even look like a child that has been neglected. If you say a child that is neglected, you will know, definitely you will know through their performance in school, even their appearance, you know that, oh, this child is really, really going through neglect. But if there is no evidence at that point, nobody's going to come and take your child away from you. No, the only thing they can do is escalate the matter, and then you have the right, of course, to defend yourself in the courts. And one of the major reasons why children are taken away is abuse. It could be emotional, it could be sexual, it could be physical. Guys, physical abuse. This is mainly for Africans. Physical abuse, like hitting your child, hitting your kids. Some children have autism, ADHD, and you may not even know about it. That's the funny thing. You may not even know, and you'll be like, why is this child always restless? Why is this child not sitting at a place? Why is this child? The child could just have ADHD and need attention. And you know Africans now, and I mean one born picking we get ADHD. And I mean one born autistic picking, God forbid, it cannot happen. And I will beat Chris out of that child, any small thing. But these children, they talk a lot, they talk a lot. So you really, really need to be careful. Also, people are watching. Don't forget, guys, if there's anything you take home from this video, it's the fact that somebody is always watching. It could be that neighbor of yours. You can just be in the garden and your child misbehave and you just hit the child. There is a lot of controversy about spanking, which of course I'm not going to talk about here. I know a particular social worker said spanking is allowed, but don't leave marks and not excessively. While some persons, like in Scotland, is not allowed to spank. So it's a bit controversial. So the best thing is find alternative way to punish that your child. Like for instance, my child, if he misbehaves now, like Kachi's the only one that I know that at least he knows what it means to do bad. If he misbehaves now, I just take his toy or his favorite cartoon, he will not watch it. He loves slide, he loves swing. Kachi, no slide, no swing, because you did this. Always make sure you tell the child, this is the reason why I'm taking this away from you for now. Do you understand? So things like once he just knows that I'm going to take your slide away from you, he will just correct himself immediately. So things like that, especially now that they are young. So when it comes to physical abuse, we have to be really, really careful with the way we spank. And we talk a lot. Sometimes we'll be in African gathering. Me, I know they take what show. I go beat them. You don't even know who is there. That your fellow African you're even talking about may even sell you out. Another thing is that I think we trust so much. We talk a lot. We trust so much. We feel like, because this person is Nigerian, he or she owes us loyalty. Or do you get things like that? You really need to be careful, very, very careful. Like in the case of this man, he put out the belt and started beating, lost himself, and he was so angry, which of course is understandable. I'm not even gonna judge him. Parenting is so painful. Parenting can be hard. It is so difficult. It is so difficult. I'm not even kidding. Like I'm saying this from a place of pain. It is very, very difficult and painful when you're trying to instill discipline in a child and the child is not listening. Do you get? At the end of the day, just caution and starting early. You just have to start early. I admire parents when I go out and I see a parent say, okay, it's enough, you're not playing anymore, come sit down, and the child just sit down. It didn't happen like this. Like, it took time. So that's why we should try as much as we can to just reduce the spanking. And you know, when you spank inside, you won't know when you spank outside. Like when you're fond of hitting. I would say you don't even know when you slap the child because you're already used to it. Now, another reason is neglect, when emotional needs are not met. I remember so well, I went for a party and we're just talking about this topic, and the woman was telling me, like, we're sharing our experiences now, and the woman was like, that's how they just came to my house one day to start questioning me. Apparently, he took the child for an appointment and they were just talking with the doctor. And he told the doctor that he does not feel that there is anything wrong with female circumcision, that she was circumcised back in her country. People do it, and she does not think that there's anything wrong. Slip tongue. Hey, how can you be telling a doctor such a thing? And you have daughters. So the doctor took it seriously. Immediately now, they rang and they went straight to the school, questioned the daughter. Like, they just took everything so official. Even police questioned her. Luckily, they checked the daughters were not circumcised, of course, with her permission. But just imagine, like, the kind of loose mouth, like, who does that? I told her, like, how can you do that? She don't know now. She don't know. And the doctor was just nodding her head, nodding. I'm like, you really do not know this professionals. Like, you really do not know. So one of the things that we really talk so much, and we really need to tame that. Neglect can include missing appointments. There's where you keep on missing appointments, and trust me, it will raise eyebrow. I really didn't want to talk about this topic here. I want to talk about it in another topic, but I feel like we should just talk about it maybe in summary. We already know that most kids, like when they are little, like 2 years, 3 years, and their social communication is not that great, or like they're not hitting their milestone when it comes to social communication, the first thing that comes to most people's mind is autism. Especially in school, if you have a child that attends school, nursery, and the child is not like talking at a certain age, the first thing they raise is autism, and they start to do so many referrals. They want to do this referral, they want to do that referral, do this, speech therapy, this, that, and you're saying, God forbid, my child is not autistic, my child is not ADHD. I don't want this. If you know you don't want that, then just remove your child from that school. But if your child is still in that school and they're offering so many help, like one-to-one this, and you're not accepting it, or you're not taking the child to appointment and all that, trust me, it's going to raise eyebrows and they might come for you. So the best thing in that situation is just remove your child, which I know most African parents, they do. They don't like stuff like that. Just take a child out of that school and be sane than leaving the child in that school and avoiding appointments. And also, if you're not providing your child with their basic human rights like food, water, clean environment, I keep saying it, if you know you have mold in your house, make sure to report that situation to your landlord. Don't keep quiet if there is mold in your house. I don't know how to describe mold, but just Google mold. It's a dangerous killer, and don't leave it in your house if you have kids. Make sure to report it to your landlord and possibly to your authority if your landlord is not doing to your local authority. Please, guys, very important. And lastly, abandonment. I've mentioned this in my last videos. You go for night shift, your husband go for night shift, and you leave the kids inside, or make her just quickly go buy something. You just rush and go and buy something, and you leave your child there. Or you feel like, your child is probably like 9. Look after your 2 younger ones, stuff like that. See, if you've been doing it, be very, very careful. I would advise you to stop it. One person should always be at home. Like now in my house, my husband does most of the shopping. Like once he's on his way back from work, I don't really give him all the full list. Buy these things. You just have to strike a balance basically and be there for your child. Like, I don't know how busy this country can make you be. Like someone like me, I'm working part-time. Not just, since I went back to work, I've been doing only part-time, 2 days a week. It's so funny, but yeah, I work just 2 days a week, and that's it. Because I have 3 kids, I have to be there for them. My husband is busy, he's a busy man, and he earns more, he pays most of the bills, so why should me working part-time, I don't see anything there at all. Just try your best to strike a balance. Make sure you're there for your kids. Anyway, I hope you've been able to take a thing or two from this video. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. And of course, guys, if you know any other thing you want me to talk about, share with me in the comment section, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you guys. Till I see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.